The sky is the color of a bruised plum when you reach the foot of the sandstone walls. Before you, the main gate massive, iron-studded, and scarred by the weather groans on its hinges. The sound is a heavy, rhythmic aish that signals the city is exhaling. As you step through, the scent of the open road is instantly replaced by the thick, familiar weight of the interior. The acrid bite of wood smoke from 1,000 small hearths, the sweet rot of over-ripe fruit, and the dry, tickling scent of rising dust. You are small here. To your left, a line of pack camels grunts, their breath blooming in the cool morning air as they are led toward the grain markets. To your right, the gleam against their spears, their leather breastplates dull in the low light. They do not look at you. They look through you, their presence a silent reminder that you are within the grip of something vast and ancient. The city does not welcome you. It simply permits you to exist within it. By the time the sun clears the battlements, you are deep within the residential quarters. Here, the world is made of sunned brick and shadows. You hear the rhythmic thud of a woman beating a heavy rug against a wall, and the metallic clink of brass pots being scrubbed with river sand. The air smells of damp earth, and the sharp, green scent of coriander being crushed for the morning meal. You step aside for a water carrier, his goatskin bag dripping a cool trail across the dry ground. There is no privacy here, only proximity. You see the children of weavers sitting on doorsteps, their fingers already mimicking the movements of the loom. You notice how the street narrows where the wealthier merchants have extended their balconies, and how you must flatten yourself against a wall to let a palanquin pass. The separation of your world from theirs is not spoken. It is felt in the way you lower your gaze and wait for the dust to settle before you walk again. Midday arrives with a crushing, golden heat. The bazaar is a canyon of sound where voices collide in a dozen dialects, bargaining over the price of salt, indigo, and pepper. You move through a haze of suspended dust that catches the sunlight in thick, vertical beams. To your right, the spice stalls burn your nostrils a heavy, oily cloud of cloves, turmeric, and dried chilies. To your left, the rhythmic tink-tink-tink of the metalworkers' hammers creates a pulse that vibrates in your teeth. The density of the crowd forces you into the orbit of others. You feel the brush of coarse wool against your arm as a hill trader passes, followed by the faint, cooling scent of rosewater as a minor official moves through the throng, his servants clearing a path with nothing more than a sharp word. No one explains the hierarchy to you. You simply learn to read the fabric of a tunic or the height of a turban to know how much space you are allowed to occupy. You do not see the emperor, but you feel the weight of the throne in every street. It is in the way the crowd parts instantly, when a squad of cavalry trots through, their horses' hooves sparking against the stone. You see it in the Kotwal's men standing at the intersections, their eyes moving slowly over the faces of the crowd, looking for the flicker of a debt unpaid or a rule broken. Near the tax collector's office, the air is quieter. Men stand in long, patient lines, clutching small bags of coin or scrolls of paper. There is a specific kind of silence here, a cautious, bated breath. Power is not an abstract concept. It is the man with the reed pen who decides how much of your harvest belongs to the crown. It is a distant, immovable force, as cold and permanent as the stone of the fort rising over the rooftops. Time in the city is not measured by the sun alone, but by the call. When the adhan rises from the minarets, the sound rolls over the city like a slow wave, anchoring the chaos. walls, you see men wash their hands and faces at the communal tanks, their movements synchronized by habit and faith. A few streets away,
Fresh fruits and vegetables, come and buy.
The water is cool this morning.
the scent of sandalwood and marigolds drifts from a small temple tucked between the shops, where the low murmur of a chant competes with the chatter of the street. These rhythms overlap without blending. You watch a merchant touch his forehead to the ground, then rise to sell grain to a woman wearing a different string of beads around her neck. It is a shared existence born of necessity. The festivals and the prayers are the stitches that hold the city together, giving a predictable shape to a life that is otherwise fragile. As the sun dips below the horizon, the city softens. The harsh glare of the dust fades into a deep, hazy blue. You smell the change before you see it. The sharp heat of the day gives way to the scent of roasting lentils and the sweet smoke of mustard oil lamps being lit in the doorways. The guards at the inner gates shift their weight, their shadows lengthening until they disappear into the walls. You see families gathering on the flat rooftops to catch the first stirrings of a breeze. The roar of the marketplace has died down to a low hum, like the sound of a receding tide. This is the hour of transition, where the urgency of survival pauses, and the city takes its first full breath of cool air. You find a place to sit, watching the flickers of orange light appear one by one across the landscape of brick and stone. When night truly falls, the city changes. The darkness is absolute, broken only by the orange glow of a watchman's torch or the faint light of the moon on the river. The great gates are locked and barred. To be outside now is to be an object of suspicion. You hear the heavy thud of the chocolater's staff against the ground, a rhythmic warning that the law is still awake even if the people are not. Fear is a quiet companion at this hour. Behind the thick wooden doors of the poles, families huddle together. You listen to the sounds that the day usually hides: the bark of a stray dog, the rustle of the wind through the eaves, the distant shout of a guard. The city is no longer a place of trade or prayer. It is a fortress. You wrap your shawl tighter against sudden chill, grateful for the thickness of the walls between you and the vast, uncertain dark. To live here is to be a single thread in a carpet of immense proportions. Your life is not defined by the grand history of kings, but by the weight of the water pot, the price of the grain, and the safety of your latch at night. You have survived another cycle of the sun in the shadow of an empire that does not know your name. There is no progress here, only the continuity. The city will wake tomorrow to the same creaking gates and the same smell of wood smoke. You are part of a rhythm that began long before you and will carry on long after the stones of these walls have returned to dust. You are not a witness to history. You are the pulse of the city itself.